Um, I have some bad news for you guys. Batwoman has officially been canceled after all of the efforts to have it renewed. You had the Batman writers literally telling their audience, hey, please tell them to renew us because they saw the writing on the wall. But unfortunately, the cries were unheard. And Batwoman has been canceled. Such a sad day. Such a sad day. As documented by Bounding in the Comics after a collapsing ratings in a failed campaign. The CW scraps the woke Batwoman show. Season 3 posted an all-time viewership low with only 372,000 people tuning in on the 5th episode of the show. Its ratings in the 18 to 49 demographic also dropped 0.07 multiple times in the show's third season, including the show's final episode. So it dropped among the target demographic. According to TV series finale, the show's final season had an average rating of 0.09 in the 18-49 demographic and an average viewership of 458,000. Sad. Just sad. Show's cancellation also comes after the Batman writers' room encouraged fans of the show to try to save it. Yep, this is what I was talking about. We did sorry, the camera kind of blew out there. Actually, let's keep the camera off. This F's in the chat for the camera because I'm so sad, right? And F's in the chat for Batwoman. Sorry about that. Not sure what happened there. Why my camera, I guess it exhausted. Probably got unplugged or some shit. So, sorry. Either way, Batwoman is over with. And it's a sad day. I see my chat going wild with F's for my camera and F's for Batwoman who have suffered the same fate of death. Man, it's rough, huh? Caroline, who I don't know who this is, the show's writer, confirmed the show was canceled on Twitter. And this is the show's writer. Says, just got the sad news that Batwoman will not be seeing a season 4. I am bummed, but full of gratitude. What an honor to make 51 episodes. That is crazy that it went that long. So many inspiring, brilliant people contributed to this series. Thank you, producers, cast, and crew. Thank you, fans. We love you. Sucks, doesn't it? Now, you would think that such a it's like easy, right? It's a layup, right? Because everybody cares about social justice, everybody cares about the progressive, and not only did you get a show about lesbians, but you got a show about black lesbians. So you were checking several boxes here, and still they weren't interested. What the fuck happened? It's almost as if there's not as big of a demographic for this type of material as you maybe anticipated. Now, if this show wasn't look, I get it, right? Definitely in this day and age, a lot of money being spent on utter failures, shows being renewed for seasons that probably shouldn't be renewed. I don't know if Discovery getting DC is going to change maybe the direction of some of this, or the merger, between DC and Warner, if that's going to change any of this. What I will say is that nobody asked for this dumb shit. See, you got a tokenized character in Batwoman. And then instead of making it interesting, right, because I could see stories, I've talked about this, Batwoman could have, she's had interesting stories in the books. There was a cool dynamic between the Bat family, between the difference between her and Batman. Despite her being a tokenized version of Batman. If you read like some of the, post New 52 Detective Comics, the Bat family there had a decent dynamic, right? And Batwoman was in it after the New 52. New 52 was dog shit. But nothing from this like interesting. Remember, I reviewed some of back when I was actually watching this type of material. Those days be behind me for sure. But I was covering it, and man, it was terrible. Like, as always, they have to hyper-emphasize. We knew it was happening. It was just a matter of what episode was it going to be when they started really focusing on the gay shit. And then they said, we're going to make it extra gay by having this whole new, like, Batwoman come on, because we're not going to be using whatever the chick's name was, or Ruby Rose or whatever her name was leaving the show. And now we got new tokenized tokenization squared, right? Where you got a tokenized character, which is impressive. When it happens like that, it don't happen like that often, but when it happens like that, wow. So you got a character nobody asked for, the version of the character that nobody asked for, and then you tried to prolong this shit for, and then not even just that. Remember DC Fandom when they announced that this chick was going to be played, and I got all kinds of shit. I don't know if you guys remember, because people are like, oh, you should be happy for her. She's a black woman, and because you're black, you should be excited for her for having this role. I'm like, that's not how this shit works. I don't have to be excited for you for the sake of being excited. And just because we're black doesn't mean we relate. Like I say all the time, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. But they certainly, during the DC Fandom deal, was hyper-emphasizing race and sexuality. She just thought she was she would talk so much about that. Look at me. I'm blackity black, but I'm also gay. And because I'm that, it's going to be great. All the little girls are going to see me and look up. It's so important, so progressive and so important. And then nobody watched your shit. Because nobody was interested. Let this be a fate that is suffered for many of these weirdos in the future, if we can just get people to get hold of their addictions. This is a fate that should be suffered among really all of these social justice aspects that have infiltrated all of our brands. And these writers are so cocky to where they think they could just make social justice the show or the movie and not see any consequence to it. One can hope. I don't know how much money they spent on this show, but I'm willing to bet that they didn't get a return, because it probably cost only $5 to get a fucking ad during the viewing of fucking Batwoman. You just listened to a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake, which is live throughout the week at 12 p.m. Central on youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. Be sure to check out my website, ericdjuly.com, so you can stay up to date with everything it is that I'm doing. You can also become a member and get access to a bunch of cool perks and exclusive content, which includes a social media hub where you can interact with myself and other members. It even has an app that you can get, which is now live in the Google and Apple stores.